money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. Doesn't matter whether you are in Botswana, Guyana, or even Tijuana. Man, maybe I'm listening to that Tijuana Taxi from, what was his name? The trumpet player from the late 60s. I'll think of it. I want to say Hal something. Maybe somebody in the den knows. Herb Alpert, that's what it was. Anyway, huge record empire. But you know what? We love to come to you every day, no matter where you're at and no matter what you're listening to.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, as we move into it, options rollover continues through tomorrow. Generally, it's done either by today, late in the day, or midday tomorrow. I don't know. I didn't have it in my list here, but of course, everybody seems to be acting like there's some kind of stimulus. I mean, from what I read, the argument is not over the dollars, but whether or not those dollars go to illegal aliens. One side says that we must give money to everybody. One says that none of our people would vote for us if we did. And I don't know how you get past that kind of impasse. So I'm not really thinking that there's a lot of there, but it's hard for me to know that the people that actually think that there's a lot of there, whichever side you're on. Of course, we're not in the right or wrong business. We're in the higher or low business. I just never thought that there was much chance once we got about 2 weeks ago. But that's just me. I thought the market was slowly getting used to we weren't going to have anything before the election. I don't think we are. Weirder things have happened. As I've said before, I know what a lot of people are going to do. I don't know what 3 or 4 people are going to do. So when it comes to things like this, where a handful of people, 1 or 2 or 3 people, can determine a destiny, I don't know how, we're not sitting in that room. We don't know. I don't know of anybody that knows, but I do know the sticking point, and it seems to me a deal breaker for both sides. They can't go back to their faithful and say we did what we said we would do. At least one side would have to cave into it. Pre-election, I think that's incredibly difficult. So probably going to continue to see the market bouncing around in these levels. Went out for lunch earlier in the day, and I thought it was real funny because I was listening to the radio at lunch or something, and it said that the S&P was down like 30 points. I thought, I've got my phone here. The thing's up 30. So what was the deal? I don't know, but it's rarely that I've listened to a newscast that was that far off. But who knows? Maybe it was from a few days ago. But just thinking your local news is that far off, I wonder how many people decided that they needed to go take a quick look at their stocks when they heard that. But certainly nowhere close to reality. Thought that was weird today. NASDAQ's up 119. But again, I hate to put too much into anything I hear during options rollover, because for the most part, it ends up being something that seems to evaporate by tomorrow. And we get into the direction of the market. If it has a trend, it pretty much starts tomorrow. So that's kind of it at the moment. We didn't have any volume really to speak of yesterday going into the close. We ended up with about 8.8 billion shares. We're just slightly better than yesterday. We're about 5.5 billion shares on the CBOE consolidated tape. So it's hard for me to get too excited about anything. We didn't go down on volume, and we're not bouncing on volume. And of course, the bigger thing really is earnings. We'll be going through that today. The next real 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're going to have a lot of earnings. So far, I thought that the sell-off that we had yesterday was probably people just ringing the register, not so much against the election as against earnings, where it may be tough to find out exactly how folks are doing. Very interesting move by Logitech today. We've talked about them on the show from time to time as probably the company that gets to ring the register on COVID more than any other. And of course, we brought up the flight simulator with Microsoft, where these guys are now selling out of all the joysticks for that game. But this year, for a horrible year for most people, literally everything that's gone wrong or moved or changed has benefited Logitech in one way or another. We'll look at them. And that's kind of it for the moment. We'll go do a little bit of history, and then we will move on.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1906, Lee DeForest announced, Dr. Lee DeForest, by the way, announces his 3-element electrical vacuum tube, later known as the triode. The triode was able to produce a large voltage amplifying effect, not actually amplifying anything, but an effect which is used to amplify weak signals. I hate that word amplify because it doesn't amplify it. What it does is it scales it. You can't have more power than you start with. So the idea that it can do that, all it is like a giant valve. The water pressure is still there. It's just you turn the wheel a little bit, you get more or less pressure going out, and of course that's what this thing does. It lets you to take a small signal and actually vary a much larger voltage somewhere else. So it doesn't really amplify anything. What it does do is let you scale signals higher, but the power has to be there to begin with. Too many people didn't take high school physics. Anyway, it will make long-distance communications possible for the first time. Maybe the engineer can show you. I had an actual DeForest radio, and it was a neat antique piece. I think it was from 1930. I sold it because I was moving on a boat and going to live on it for a long time. And I thought, am I going to let this thing just rot in a storage facility? This is kind of before they had all the ones that were climate controlled. And I thought, well, I might as well sell it. It's just going to go to rust. But had a DeForest radio. Very cool at the time. But we shall move on. Got lots of stuff to talk about. Earnings, stocks, other things.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we had a question before the show started, so I popped this up a little bit, but it is a question on, why is that SL? Did I not put it in there right? SLY? It's not right. SFLY. Let's make sure we got it here. There. Fastly. Question on this. Okay. Oh, I still have that. Do I? Or did I put it down? Okay. What is edge computing? Is really the question. This company actually engages in it. There's a lot to networking. And a lot of times it's one computer talking to another, or we're typing to each other, sending emails back and front to each other. But there's kind of a computer and there's a human kind of attached to it. Edge computing is when you have devices that have some compute ability, maybe not a whole lot. These things can be like security video cameras, temperature and humidity sensors out in the field. Probably the first edge computing was a Coke machine, I'm going to say mid-'70s, that was hooked up to the ARPANET at the time, which is the internet. And you could see how many different types of drinks were in that Coke machine and know when you had to fill it, but you didn't have to go look at it. One side of, I think this happened, I want to say, at Berkeley. But the idea is that there's something with a little bit of computer power, not a whole lot, and it's probably talking to some kind of server somewhere else, or maybe it's sending data to the cloud. But you don't need to be checking the Coke machine every 5 seconds to see, what happened. Maybe every minute or 5 minutes will tell you what you need to know, or 10 minutes. But you may also have some kind of sensor that literally has to be checked all the time on an assembly line. And being able to say and route and set levels of importance on all these different devices out there, whether it's, like I said, an assembly line or a sensor or a thing that counts how many products you have left in the bin. There's 100,000 kinds of different devices out there that have some kind of little bit of computer power, not much, and they may be, if you had a sensor on the bumper of a car, you don't want to hit something in the front. That's got to be much, much, much higher priority than the gasoline sensor for how much gas you have left in the tank. And on a car, you have right now the average new car has 50 CPUs. These things may cost $1 a piece, but they each are fighting for control of what's going on in that car. Like if you have automated temperature sensors, you may put something like a Kalman filter down in that device that senses the temperature to get rid of noise. So, maybe you average it over 5 or 10 seconds. Well, you can do a little bit of that right into the device. You don't have to take up the power of the main CPU for the car. And that main CPU, of course, has to worry about putting enough gas in the cylinders, whether or not you're pressing on the pedal. In fact, since almost everything happens now remotely, probably pushing on the pedals, probably the most important thing that the CPU in your car could do. But whether it's connected to a bigger internet or a smaller internet, edge computing are small devices that are generally some kind of sensor or create some kind of action like a robot on an assembly line. And some of that stuff needs instant communication back to these big servers or maybe something in the cloud. Some of these things need very low bandwidth, and it's all about setting priority, security, because, of course, these things if you set a sensor out there in the middle of a cornfield, there's not a lot to keep people from breaking into it. You could easily get into a bigger server or a cloud system if you could weasel your way in it. There's no way you're going to be able to put a bunch of barbed wire around it and keep people out. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into that, but it's all about tiny devices. I'm going to say tiny devices, smaller devices, and they can be a variety of things, but they have a small amount of computer power, and that can vary, and how fast they need to be serviced and looked at by a bigger, longer, and huger system. But very big in stuff like Amazon, where they have all these different products. They need to know when it runs out. They're controlling all those little robots going and grabbing the packages. Same kind of thing with FedEx. All those packages go down the assembly line. They get scanned by a barcode reader. All that data has to go. But as fast as they're moving the packages across there, does that data actually need to go somewhere instantaneously? Well, if you're routing it to this airplane or another airplane in your FedEx, well, you probably need to know it before that package gets to the end of the line or where it gets routed in the big sorting facilities. Sometimes, when you just get a package, if it's checked in 5 minutes, probably doesn't matter as much. But trying to use all your resources and maximize them and make sure that the stuff that's really important gets done first, and the stuff that's not so important gets done last. And, of course, that you have security to all those devices. So edge computing isn't as much as you would think it is, and it happens on small and large systems. Okay. Yes, edge computing. So, yes, this company, Fastly, actually does it. And of course, it blew apart a few days ago. These things tend to be very much like a lot of big system sales like IBM or these other guys, and that is that it's always feast or famine. You get some kind of big deal with Amazon. It takes you 3 years to actually install all of them. And do you have another contract? Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. And that tends to be kind of like the optical business with optical fibers for transmission of data. Those guys tend to always be either way unable to provide what people want today, or they have a ton of inventory in the back they can't get rid of fast enough. But Fastly, big contracts generally, and of course those tend to be very lumpy. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Got a lightning strike here fairly new, close to us. And Comcast, well, she ain't what she used to be. Lost my internet signal. Anyway, we got a question about Slack, which is symbol work, W-O-K. Looking at the 3150 puts and as a short candidate. I don't like Slack as a short candidate because the problem is that at any time someone can come out with a buyout rumor. And is this kind of like dealing with the Russians and the Soviets during the Cold War? Your story, can be true enough. You're still going to get blown out. That is the problem. Let's see what they've got for short positions. The problem is they've got a good product and they can't make it alone. And I think everybody knows, we've talked about that ad nauseum. That means that they are a buyout candidate. Unfortunately, everybody knows that, and people are short. This has got 4 days to cover. So if it goes against you, it's going to go hard. I do like the idea that you're talking about buying puts because that would be the way to play this. I wouldn't be short the equity itself. Today I would have loved to seen some volume on the way down. This thing gapped up back on the 12th with 12.3 million shares. You only got half that today. I would have liked to seen some kind of ability for this thing to really blow out. I understand the energy off that low hasn't been much, but at the same time, I'm extremely reticent to short stocks under $30. This is just barely over $30, but I've done some fairly long and sophisticated tests and models on shorting stocks under $30. That's kind of where I get started. If it didn't have the massive short numbers and continuing short numbers from the FINRA data, I'd probably look at it. But you know what? All you need is one story and they'll cook your goose. Like I said, 5 days to cover on the bi-monthly data from the exchanges and the FINRA data. Well, let's pop it up here real quick. Let's see what they've done the last 7 days. 27%, 23%, 25%, 25%, 20%, 20%. A little less volume shorting yesterday. So it's not that much, still 18%. Could it go down? It could. I would have, like I said, I don't like the energy on the way up. It's probably going to come back, test 24.21. The question is the risk reward worth it? And I have to say, with 5 days to cover, it is tough for me to say that you can't do it. Now, you're going with puts. See, okay, at $2, the November 13th. So, I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. 3150 puts. For $2, a little under $2. Man, it's coin flip. That's the problem. You certainly are doing the right thing by looking at the options. I would much rather see this thing pop with no volume. You've actually had a down day with no volume. Generally not the way or place I actually decide to actually plant a flag. Ideally, this could end up being a much better signal for you. And that would be if you ended up with anything with a Joe DiNapoli pattern. Today is the first day under your 3x3 displaced moving average. And of course, the double repo pattern starts with something like 10 or 20 days above 3x3 or 9-day moving average. So your first day above that is the 21st of September. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, and we'll call it 20. You got a little close under it yesterday, kind of a nice move today. If volume does not come in to exceed 12 million shares, what you would like is for this thing to go sideways for 2 or 3 days, go back over that 3x3 or 9-day moving average. In fact, let's take a look at it under the 9-day. I like the 3x3 because it actually shows you the ballistic pattern that you would get in that the traditional moving average. See, the 9-day, this is the first day, this closes under the 9-day. But at the same time, you've got the same amount of days above it. But a lot of people talk about the parabolic SAR and other things. I much rather like this pattern because a lot of people get short early, then they get blown out by some kind of bogus news article. If you can't get if you can't hold the price with the bogus news article after everybody covers their shorts, you've got probably a pretty good position to go short at that point. So I'm just saying that let's go back to the displaced moving average. We talked about this last week. You take the last 3 days and you average it and put that out 3 days into the future. So in 3 days from now, 3191 would be the number you're looking for. And if it goes above that line for a few days and then closes below it, that's when I like putting on positions in this kind of setup with an option. We'll be back right after this.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A share bull and bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Okay. I was asked to go over one more time. Joe DiNapoli's pattern, which I really like. He was on the show last week with Larry Pesavento and Tom. But, you know, there's a lot in there in his book. I think it's $180. Well worth it. You can always resell it if you don't like it. There's always people buying it. It's a little dated, but I like that definition of a topping pattern because it gives you the ability to wait. And especially if you're using options, lets you get in a lot more without having to worry about the decay. And of course, anytime you have a VIX in the mid 20s, you're watching stuff like, that light rain that just kind of hits the street and instantly evaporates. That's about like the premiums do. So getting very close to the time it actually falls apart, much more important. But yeah, you get another bounce. Anyway, let's go back to it. 20 days above a 3x3 displaced moving average or a 9-day moving average. You get a couple days below that. You get a couple days back above that line, no energy, no volume. And then you get a big bar, kind of like today, but it goes through that line and you get a lot of volume. And that is telling you that the whole thing's falling apart. Now, if you're buying the puts, you got to buy it before it breaks that line. But like I said, 2-3 days above it, you pull the trigger on the put, you probably get a very good price. And if you've played it correctly, you go from out of the money into the money into a big, giant, disgusting profit, which we love. So give me a call, 877-927-6648. I had a bunch of charts we were going to look at here today. I'm probably not going to have time because we picked up some other stuff going on. I did want to get into earnings. So let's get back to that. And we'll go on to worry about it later. Today is Tuesday all day long. After the bell tonight, we've got Snap. SNAP, probably a company that's going to benefit the most from the outright evil that Facebook is and Twitter are doing, as they don't really participate in any of it. Being in LA too, they don't have maybe the same kind of drumbeat of insane clown posse ideas. And I'm going to say that if someone asked about pairs trades, if I was looking at something, it would certainly be something along with Snap and probably the opposite side with Facebook. We got today's, 20. You got to move in Facebook today with no volume. These companies have done some unspeakable evil. If you think that the First Amendment was the most important one, I think some of the news on Facebook is going to eventually start trickling out. Of course, just for me, First Amendment probably the most important thing. Even when the internet was starting, I got involved with a nonprofit wanted to work for, and knowing the history we looked at in books like 1984 was the first thing that I got involved with really politically. And it was just to make sure that the internet was free and you could keep free expression. But I don't know how many people really know that what you actually put on Facebook goes back to George Soros. I mean, the guy actually created a company, or actually created a fund that 2 levels down, a company owned by a company, actually is the fact checker for everything that goes on Facebook. So maybe you like that, maybe you don't. To me, it's creepy. it's not somebody here in the United States sitting down. It is some people highly partisan deciding what you will and will not see. And I kind of compare it, probably not as bad, but in the lead up to the Second World War, you had lots of people like Joe Kennedy, Lindbergh. These people were way out there with what the Nazis were doing, and they had to eat it. And I have a feeling that people like Facebook, Twitter, that are way out on the side of molesting the First Amendment are going to pay the price. I would be extremely careful. Of course, both of these guys, I think on Friday, go before the Senate, and they're going to be asked questions like, okay, you decided not to handle any of the what's true and what's not, but you handed it off to these people in Europe, and you didn't know what they were doing. I don't think that holds any water. These guys are going to have to answer. And, of course, so what they did last Thursday, an abomination, and that's it. So I would be very wary, because I think these guys are going to end up, like I said, a lot of egg on their face for what they've done. Let's take a quick look at Twitter. Both of these guys popping up. A lot of people thought that the antitrust issues with Google were going to be probably worse than they were. I just got to tell you that you're up on extremely light volume today on Twitter. And, of course, the main guy that's probably going to get it with both barrels Friday is Jack Dorsey from Twitter. So you kind of have to watch all that stuff. But I haven't looked at the options yet, but my guess is these guys are probably really going to figure out that everybody does know what they're doing. And at least I, for one, pretty mad about it. Okay, what else do we have? Let's take a quick look at Google. We did see what we talked about over a year ago, which is, I think, 47 or 48 of the attorneys generals of the states have filed and made a part of a federal antitrust suit against Google. The first shot across the bow wasn't as bad as a lot of people thought, but I'm going to say that this is not the end. This is just the beginning of a bunch of different sections. We covered it a couple of weeks ago, and that is there's not just one antitrust law. There's 3 different government agencies, and these guys pretty much have offended in all of those different segments. So a lot of legal problems going forward for these folks in social media. I would be extra, extra careful. Your sins will come out. And these guys have made a lot of sins. We'll be back after this.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And let's see, what else we have? Well, it's kind of the end of the day here. We're up. Let's update this just to make sure. We're up 32 points. Again, it's hard for me to believe that these guys can make a deal. One side would make a deal, and of course it would make all their supporters right before election incredibly mad. Either way, someone's got to lose that one big position. So I'm not thinking it's that. I would rather see this thing either pass or fail today, see the reaction to it, and then trade off of that. I don't know how you can actually say will or won't pass. Stranger things have happened. I'm just kind of on the other side of it not, which I would love. I'd like to see the market maybe pull back a little bit more, figure out how much froth there was in the water, and then pick the stocks that are going to run from there or fail from there. But I'm not a big fan of trying to figure out what a handful of people will do. I need to find out what a whole lot of people are going to do. And once that's all over, then we can go back to the program already in progress over most of those TV stations. But that's about it. Not a lot of volume yesterday on the downside, not a lot of volume today on the upside. In fact, we're just ticking over 6 billion shares. So there isn't a lot of juice either side of this to give us a good signal. And, of course, we go on to earnings, and that is it. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Anyway, we're going to go, and this is the end of the shoe. Don't think that, oh, I did want to talk about one thing, and I didn't get into it real quick. Microsoft making a deal with SpaceX. Doesn't seem to do much today, but they're linking their Azure cloud system to SpaceX's internet. It's interesting. Not much movement on the stock today, but I thought that was more interesting for SpaceX than us. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same